How's it going, everybody? It's Taylor from Tower Cards and Games, and I've got a question for you. Would you like to know what $1,300 of Magic cards looks like? I'm glad you asked. There we are, folks. In my possession, I have an entire collector box case of Duskmourn, House of Horror. And we are going to be cracking into this whole entire thing. This is going to be something special. I've always wanted to do this. There you go. All right. Let's make these look nice, shall we? This is going to be an awesome video. I'm going to slide these slightly off to the side so that we can focus on the task at hand. But first, if you see anything in this video that you would love to add to your collection, please click the link down below. We are a seller on tcgplayer.com with over 100,000 and counting live cards in our inventory and 20,000 and climbing satisfied customers under our belt. No sale is too big or too small for us. All right. Oh, gosh. I am so looking forward to getting into this. There is so much cool stuff to get out of this set. What I am looking after right now, and it's not the biggest thing in the set, although it's close to it. I am looking for that texture foil Valgavoth. I think that is probably the coolest looking card out of this set. And I can't wait to pull one for myself. We're just going to call it right now. We're going to get one today. Look how many cards we're opening. We are for sure. We're bound to see something good. I would also love to get some of those Japanese alt arts with the extra foiling around the outside. I believe they're called shatter foilings. I keep forgetting the name. We're going to rifle through some of the commons and uncommons and all that stuff pretty quick because that's not what we're here for. We're here for what's in the back. So, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to use my trusty collector booster scissors. They are specially designed for cutting packs, not cards. And we're going to get right into it. So excited to check this stuff out. If you have a favorite card that you're looking for in this set, comment down below. Let me know what your favorite card from this set has been. I am interested to see what people think. I think for myself, probably, I would have to say my favorite card was the Abhorrent Oculus. And the market seems to agree with me. It is quite a valuable card. I'm going to set the planes aside just because that's how I like to sort them myself. Oh, hang on a second, folks. You see that little corner right there? Oh, no. What do we have there? Hang on. Let's get to it. Oh, Leyline of Mutation and a Japanese alt art boiler bilge. Look at that. We only just got started. Oh, that's fantastic. That is going to be the first mythic of the pack. I'm going to set them off to the side over here. And when we do our roundup at the end, I'll be sleeving all of those cards up on their own. Oh, man, that is so cool. So cool to start off with something so strong. It's getting me going. Oh, man. That's awesome. Yeah, like I was saying before, I like to stop at the lands. I like to keep them separate, but it also helps me keep track of when the good stuff's about to start. Speaking of which, Chainsaw, Barb Flare Gremlin. I always thought it was interesting that you get Commander product in the collector packs. Oh, hey, speaking of product here, oh my gosh, the Wandering Rescuer in its alt art. Very nice. All right, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. I see all these nice cards. I want to sleeve them right away. All right, I got to stick to the script here. I like to stop at the lands because it lets me know when the good stuff's about to start. It's a very visual indicator. But I also, for my own inventory, I like to keep the foil lands separate from the rest of the lands. They always sell at different rates from my experience, so it's always good to keep them separated. For those of you who don't know, a little behind the scenes for how TCG Player does some stuff, if you've ever shopped there before, I highly recommend it. Of course, I would recommend that you buy from us. But if you are looking for cards anywhere, TCG Player is a phenomenal website for that. When they send us fulfillment orders, they're called a reimbursement invoice, or an RI as we call it. They will separate the foils from the non-foils, regardless of what sets they're in. We'll get cards sorted by set, and then whether or not they're by foil, and then in that set. So for our own inventory, it makes a lot of sense for us to keep them separated. Also, there you go. There's a Valgavoth, although it's the Commander Valgavoth. Still a very good card. It's just not the one we're looking for. Although, speaking of which, we are 3 for 3. Kaido, Bane of Nightmares, alt art. Look at that. How cool is that? I've actually haven't seen him like that before. I have seen his textured version. Now this one's a little underneath that, but I actually really like that purple and yellow combination. Wow, folks, we are 3 for 3 right now out the gate with Mythics. I think, I'll have to consult some of my coworkers, but I think we can keep doing that, right? I'd like to... Oh! And a Meat Hook Massacre 2. 4 for 4 now. We still have 5 more boxes. Control yourself, Taylor. We still have 5 more boxes to go. I can't be acting so excited about every little thing that I see here. Maria Vengel Grimoire. Oh! Wow. Look at the back of this one, too. A Meat Hook Massacre, a Leyline of Resonance, and a Blazemeyer Verge Borderless, all crammed into that same pack. It's a wonder anyone could breathe in there. That thing was so loaded. Oh my goodness. What a phenomenal pack that was. Folks, we have hit the ground running. We are only 4 packs in to our 6 boxes. And we are so ahead of the curve right now. That's what you like to see. But of course, when you're a card salesman, they send you the good ones. I have a different number that I call compared to all of you civilians. I call Wizards directly whenever I order my cards, and I tell them to give me the good stuff. That's how we stay in business, folks. Not many people know that. We reach out to them directly. I'm not supposed to tell you guys, but I'm so relaxed and having a good time today, and we're all here to hang out. I thought I'd give you a little peek behind the curtain. Enduring Vitality, wonderful, powerful card. Fear of Seat Paralysis, if I can say it right. There we go. Tenacity. Oh, this is another loaded pack. 2 Endurings, a Gloomlake Verge, and the Borderless Undead Sprinter. Look how cool that is. That definitely has like a horror movie poster, an old 80s exploitation style, if you will. Let's keep moving here. Wow. We are doing very, very well for ourselves. I was not expecting us to come out this strong. That was our first non-mythic pack right there, and even still, it came out the gate swinging. Oh, and an Overlord of the Hauntwoods for that next one. The moment I decided to complain, there you go, about no mythics and one shows up. I've said this before in a few of my videos, but when I get cocky in a certain way, I keep expecting the packs to punish me, and then they don't. So I don't know. Maybe it's just something about the energy I'm putting out here, folks. Just being behind the camera just gives a certain amount of luck to these packs. Let's see if it holds up. At this time of the video, since we have so much more ahead of us, I'm curious to see what you guys think we're going to get. Comment down below and give me a number. Guess how many mythics we're going to pull. At this rate, folks, we are 5 for 6 so far? 5 for 6, folks. Let's see how we can do. Let's see if we can keep that tempo. Let's see if we can keep it up. I personally think we can. If you count that Commander mythic, we are technically 6 for 6, but who counts that? Come on, who counts that? Swarm Weaver and Unidentified Hollow Ship. Okay, very cool. Spirit Token. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff in these sets. I gloss over it all the time. I go through the commons and uncommons. When you're looking at collector product, I should say, life's a little too short to focus on just holographics of everything, just getting the foils of each thing. What do we have here? All right, Enduring Innocence, fantastic. Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber. Don't think I remember. Oh, yes, this one. Yeah, whenever you unlock the door, you make the demon. Very, very good. All right. And a foil, Nashi, Searcher in the Dark. I like this style of art variant. I know it's very unique to this set, but I think it would be cool to see something like this again. Maybe not in the, again, not like horror themed, but where they really focus on the character themselves and they do this sort of, what would we call that? Duochromatic, you know, 2 colors instead of 1. If it was 1, it would be a mono, but duochromatic style, because they foil just the purple. And I think that contrast looks very, very cool, as I say. I seem to say that a lot. Comment down below. I need a new word. I say very cool a lot. I need some new hip lingo. What do the kids say these days? Skibbity. Oh, God. I can't believe I just said that out loud. And I got a mythic for it, so there you go. Shows what I know. Funeral Room and Awakening Hall. Another fantastic card right there. Zimone's Hypothesis. Fear of Missing Out. Oh, look at that, folks. Back-to-back Enduring Courages. And one is foil and one is non-foil. Look at that. Wow. Very cool. All right, I got to work on that one. Maybe I should say that's awesome. I don't know. Like I said, comment down below. Give me some new words to use. My script is very limited in my head. Hall Creeper. Okay. Convert to Slime. Peer past the veil. And another Undead Sprinter. Okay. Keeping it going. Last 2 packs of the first box. Let's keep this tempo going. Let me actually speed it up a little bit. Of course, folks, as we start to rip through some of these other boxes, we're going to see a lot of the same rare cards going forward. So, you know, you can only gawk at one card so many times. I think I just put this on backwards, didn't I? Yes, I did. Let's flip that around just like that. All right, let's see what we did here. Set those aside. Swamp, Unstoppable Slasher, monstrous card. Rip Spawn Hunter, Charred Foyer. Oh, there's another Mythic. And Warped Space. Interesting. Very interesting how they blur the art of the 2 rooms together. That's very interesting. Maybe I'll say that. I'll say interesting going forward. Island. Fear of Missing Out. That's why we buy collector product. Oh, Nico, Light of Hope. And a Flood Farm Verge on the back of that. I'm not sure how well Nico's doing. I don't really know this card that well. Make 2 shard tokens. Exile. Okay. Shard becomes a copy. Interesting. Okay. All right. That was closing out our first box. Let's just do a quick recap here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mythics, ladies and gentlemen. 8 mythics in a 12-pack box. Not so bad. And those rares, they're, you know, just because I'm stacking them doesn't mean that there's not a significant amount of value in there. We got all sorts of stuff. We got a handful of ley lines. We got a few of those sprinters, which I know do pretty well. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. But we're going to keep the momentum rolling as we slide into box number 2. And it's going to get a little bit faster from here on out, folks. A little bit faster. Maybe I'm going to make taller stacks now. How about that? Let's do all 6 from one side at once. And really, I got some pretty big hands here, if you haven't noticed. I'm not using miniature Magic cards. I really am just that big of a person. For those of you who don't know me personally, comment down below. How tall do you think I am here? This is your frame of reference. There you go. One Magic card in my great big hand. Comment down below. How tall do you think I am? If you get it right, I won't say anything. I'm just curious to see what people think. But yeah, I can hold a pretty sizable stack of Magic cards here in my digits. I've never actually tested to see the top end. Regardless, we are going to get some good stuff right now. I can just feel it. After what we just did in that first box, oh yeah, we are going to get something cool. All right, let's see. And as always, we're going to skip until we see that land. I'm going to move my stacks off screen here a little bit to make some room. We have, okay, first rare. And, oh, hey, look at that. Blazemire Verge and our first mythic, a borderless foil of Screaming Nemesis. Very cool art. I like the art on that card quite a bit. I think that's probably my favorite use of the televisions in this whole expansion, this whole set. I wasn't too sure what to make of it when they had announced that it's going to have this sort of like 80s feel to it. Obviously, you don't want them to mess it up. And Wizards has gotten the style wrong before. Leyline of the Void, very nice. They've gotten it wrong before, a few times. But I think they did a good job overall. I think this set does have a pretty good haunted house feel. I know from a art perspective, they try not to cross some lines. Certain places won't sell product if it crosses a certain line. For example, in case you didn't know this, in China, you can't show skeletons. It has something to do with their own superstition. They don't like to show the skeleton. Something about, that is very taboo to them. I don't remember exactly why. But that, in case you've ever noticed, for those of you who are really tapped into Chinese horror culture, if that's even a thing, they don't like showing skeletons. And movies or like animated shows or things like that are going to show in China, they will try to insist that they don't show it, that they replace it with something else. Enduring Tenacity, very nice card. They'll insist that they show it with something else, or they'll try to have it replaced, or like not show the episode. Doomsday Excruciator, the 6/6 for 6, like the devil. All right, let's see what we got here. Rounding out this back six, we have Kona, Seance Board, Overlord of the Boiler Bilge. Oh, and a guest star. Hey. All right, let's move some of this stuff out of the way here. And let's take a look at these. Overlord of the Boiler Bilge. Awesome card. Very powerful. 4 damage to any target. Who says no to that? And a foil Expropriate. Look at that. Very nice. The sand and the gold coins. Very, very nice. Oh, I've fallen back into my old habit. But what can I say? That's a gorgeous looking card. I really think that they've done a good job with all of these guest starring cards. When it first started off with the list, it was really a hit and miss sort of thing. There were some good cards in the list, but the list was just so bloated. And it was acting like a bonus sheet for any of the product that you had. That, you would randomly get it at the back, and it would show the symbol from the set that it was originally in, and then in the bottom corner, it was like a blink and you miss it little tiny emblem at the bottom of the card. Here, we'll show a list card, just a random one right there. And you see that little bit at the bottom. Yeah. A lot of people would overlook that. And really, for those of you who might be veterans to the game, if you think about it from a new player's perspective, they're just getting into the game and they're not as tapped in as you or I would be. They're going to buy some new product, or someone's going to buy product for them who also doesn't know about it. If you think the holiday season, when that time comes around, their friends or family would go to the store and try to get them whatever's new and buy them something for them to take to a tournament. And they'd open it up and they'd think, wow, I got this really cool card. I can't wait to use it. And they sit down across from their first opponent on a game of Friday Night Magic, and they get kicked from the tournament on the spot. Just like that. Gone. Because they had a card at the back that they didn't realize wasn't in the set. And there were a lot of times where we were doing things where, going back to Ravnica and things of the like, where we'd been at a plane before, they would even put on the list for that set cards from the older versions of that set. And that would cause so much confusion. If you like when you were opening Guilds of Ravnica back in the day, and then there would be a card from Dragon's Maze in it. But unless you were there, or unless you really paid attention or knew that that was going to happen, you had no idea that you had just pulled a non-standard or, illegal in standard card. And it would absolutely embarrass some people, if they walked into that. Now, granted, this is a very niche circumstance that I'm talking about. Oh, look at that, folks. Oh, man. Let's set this aside. What a good dog. That right there. Our first Japanese text Japanese alt art. Very nice. Beautiful card. I think this is probably my favorite of the alt arts, the Enduring Tenacity. I know market-wise, the best one right now is the green one right there, whose name I forget right now. It's Enduring something. They all are. But to me, that one just looks a bit too much like a knockoff Bambi. It's a very good card, and I think the art is cute, but I like that one more. What an awesome pull to get right now. But anyway, I was complaining about the list. You would get so many cards. Oh, Leyline of Hope. Very nice. You would get so many cards on this bonus sheet, without any real knowledge of what... Oh, Hauntwood Shrieker. Also, beautiful art right there. You wouldn't have any knowledge on whether or not something was standard unless you were really, tapped in. You could potentially get yourself kicked out of tournaments. And that turns people off from playing the game. If that was one of their first times ever really trying to dip their toe in, and it would scare them off. I know that was one of the motivating reasons, but also from a card sorting perspective, on their side, it's really hard to manage. Oh, there it is, Enduring Vitality. It's really hard to manage that many extra cards going into the packs. It's just a lot of extra moving parts. Did I go through this already? What did I do here? What is all this? Yeah, I set this down already. Let's move this over. It's a lot of extra moving parts. So I knew they wanted to do away with that. And in its place, we get the guest star system. And it's 5 to 10 cards per set. And it's all decently good stuff or callbacks to something. And it's a cool art reprint, more so than just them trying to reprint a specifically powerful card. Thornspire Verge. Very nice. Another Kaido Bane of Nightmare. Also very, very cool card. Now we got a foil version of it. Yeah, but overall I think the guest star is just a superior system. It allows you to really condense that the essence of that same thing they were trying to capture, of you finding little treasure cards from Magic's past. Tyvar the Pummeler. Wow. Oh, that one looks cool. It's all green instead of the yellow like you see on a lot of the other ones. Very nice. Leyline of Hope. And a Cursed Recording. Also, I like that card a lot. Very strong. That 20 damage bomb just sitting on your field. And, oh, look at that, folks. I accidentally thumbed past the island, but look what we revealed. Valgavoth, the Terror Eater, in a foil, no less. Very nice. I've been on the hunt for those. Fantastic card. And right behind him is the Lord of Pain. I feel like you have to say it with a special voice. I mean, look at him. He looks like something else. There. What else do we have here? Valgavoth's Onslaught and Kona Rescue Beastie with a split up at the end. All right. And that concluded the next box. What a strong hit that we have there. Let's keep this momentum going. Now that I'm done talking about bonus sheet for a year and a half. Although I will say, they have done some attempts at it since they took it off, and I think they did a lot better of a job. For example, the Wilds of Eldraine has a bonus sheet on the inside of it that they call Enchanting Tales. And all of it has this makeover of looking like old children's fairy tale art. I think those cards are beautiful. The community loves them. They are still extremely popular. They push almost the entire value of the set. There's a few good, strong cards in that set, like Agatha Soul Cauldron, right there. Show you that one. A number of things in that set that are good, but the bonus sheet really, really pushes the value of that set. And there's some good stuff in there too. I think you can get Doubling Season, for example. I believe there's some tutor cards that are in there. Could be wrong. If I'm right, let's do it right here. Boom. The magic of editing. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, that was another approach at the bonus sheet. And I feel like it was a much, much better... they learned a lot of lessons. Some of them were learned the hard way. But I think, going back to it, they did a good job trying to recapture the spirit of it. Of course, now that I say that, this last Mystery Booster product that we had, the Mystery Booster 2, was basically just the list. It was the entirety of the list from all lists ever. And from a seller's perspective, I got to tell you, that was one of the worst products to open and sort. Generally speaking, if you look at a card, let's just look at this top card here, for example. You see it has a number right there, 85. Oh, let's see. Let me get in the focus there. 85. That's its number in the set. And generally, most of these sets aren't longer than 200 to 300 cards. That accounts for variances and other things like that. You're looking at about 200 cards all in total. I believe in the list, this Mystery Booster set, it was in the thousands, something like that. And not just that, there were cards in it that were in different languages. Now, when I say that, Screaming Nemesis, fantastic. Excuse me. When I say that, what I don't mean to say is that you could get other language Magic cards. I mean, it's been a thing for a very long time. But when you would go to upload them, typically you would go to what language it's in and look for the card. You would search, a Plains. And then if it was written in Japanese, then I would scroll down until I find the listings for Japanese Plains. But that's not how they did it, because it was part of a bonus sheet. So it wasn't that it was a Japanese Plains. It was a Plains from the American set that was in Japanese, which meant it was an entirely different listing altogether. It was the most... Overlord of the Mistmourn. It was just the worst thing to sort through. Oh man, one of my coworkers, poor guy, he was losing sleep over that, having to work through it, because we bought a decent amount of that stuff at the time. And it's all for sale, of course. If you're interested in anything, check out that link down below. Don't let all of his work go in vain. Doomsday Excruciator, Formless Genesis, Silent Hall Creeper. Oh, I don't think I've seen this one yet. The Roller Crusher Ride. Look at that thing. Wow. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player, while there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, it deals double that damage instead. When it enters, it deals X damage to each of up to X target creatures. Wow. Wow. Somehow that one got past me. I'm a red player, and I don't think I remembered that was in this set. What a very cool card. Awesome. Awesome stuff today. That first box has definitely been our strongest. Of course, now that I say that, this box has every opportunity to prove me wrong. I will let it. But we're still doing very well here, folks. Definitely, though, that first box was the best so far. All right. And it looks like... Oh, my camera gave me a little notification. So, in a bit, we'll have a cut here. We'll probably get to the end of this box. That shouldn't be an issue. We'll get to the end of this box and we'll do a quick cut while I fix my camera. It's just a battery thing, folks. Nothing to worry about. Here we are. Oh, ho, ho, look at that. You see that? That always seems to be how I find them. I never get a clean unveiling, but it always comes peeking out at me. All right, let's get to it. Mind Skinner, Blazemeyer Verge, and another Japanese font, Japanese alt art. Enduring, I believe this one was Enduring Innocence, yes. Yes, it is. Wow. You know what? I think that one might actually be cuter than that dog. Look at that little lamb. Wow. Wow. These are just such cool cards. And I know we're getting this style going forward into Foundations. I've seen a few of them already like that. I think of the things that I've seen so far, my absolute favorite that I've seen in this style has been the reprint that they're going to be doing for Progenitus in that style. Hang on, let's just show you what it looks like right here. That is such a cool card. It looks like it almost has nothing to do with Magic, but it looks so cool. What a cool card. It really speaks to the kid in me. Growing up, I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time, and so I loved seeing all those big, monstrous-looking dragons. My favorite one, hands down, was the Blue Eyes White Dragon. That original art they used to show in the show. I found out later on that it wasn't like the original art of the dragon, but it was my favorite. There was just something about it that was so... It seemed mysterious and powerful, and of course, they always talked about the cards in the show like they were, extremely rare. Only 4 of them ever existed, and then at the first episode of the show ever, Kaiba takes the number 4 and tears it in half, so that way he has the only 3 in the world. Something about that always stuck with me, and whenever I see card art like that, it definitely appeals to my inner child. All right, let's see what we've got here, folks. Oh, there we go. Another mythic right out the gate. Rippin'. Funeral Room and Awakening Hall. I am curious to see if we get rooms going forward. There's a lot of these mechanics, or card types, as we will call them, that come out of different sets. And some of them, we look back now and we don't think much of it. We think of it like an evergreen mechanic because it's just always been around. It was identified back in the day as being, worth reprinting. Like Vigilance, for example, there are mechanics like that where they came out in a set at one point. They weren't always a part of the game. But perhaps something more recent within the last 10 years, like Sagas, for example. Sagas came out of the Dominaria standalone pack, and they were extremely popular when they first came out. A lot of really powerful stuff in that first list of sagas, but there was a lot of potential there. And so people were very excited to, oh, look at that, folks. Speaking of excited, do you see what I see right there? The camera is picking up that shatter foiling in this stack. Holy smokes, folks. All right. I'm going to be very careful not to spoil it. I mean, we know we've got something. We just don't know what it is yet. So I got to be super careful with my big old clumsy hands right here. We're going to skip forward to that. And we're going to take a look at what we got. Okay, so we know we have the Swamp. Overlord of the Boiler Bilge. We haven't even gotten to that foil yet. And we've already pulled a mythic out of this. All right. Okay, Into the Pit. Sure thing. Head Shredder, whatever you say. Leyline of the Void. And, oh my gosh, look at that. Overlord of the Flood Pits. Wow. What an incredible looking card. Hang on, I'm going to set this stack down, and we are going to take a second to appreciate that. Look at that card. What an incredible... It's so evocative, that color. It's the first time we've ever seen them do something like this on the edge of the card. And we're probably going to continue seeing this going forward. Talking about how we have mechanics that stick around. This has been very popular from what I've heard and seen online. People love that extra bit on the end. It makes the card feel bigger. Wow. You know what? I'm just going to sleeve that one right now. We can get back to the other stuff, at the end during our roundup, but that needs some respect right now. Wow. What else to say? That is awesome, folks. I think that card is like, even right now at the time of recording this video, you're looking at $100, $150 for that. It's not the biggest of them, but man, what a cool card to get. They are all fantastic, really. All of the Overlords, they all have that impending mechanic is so strong. And that sort of ties back into what I was talking about. Do we think we're going to see some stuff coming out? Oh, Mistmoors, Overlord of the Mistmoor. Do we think we're going to see some of these mechanics come back? I believe it was Kaladesh where we first saw vehicles, and now we see vehicles sprinkled all throughout. Sometimes it feels almost random to have vehicles show up. And now, in this next year, 2025, we're going to have a set all about racing vehicles. So, you see how the game sort of evolves. They take risks every now and then, or I guess really all the time. They take risks on stuff to see if it pays off, and it does. Yeah, look at that. Mirror Room Fracture Realm. There's just a lot going on there. It's hard to fix your eyes on any one thing in that picture. They have these mechanics that become popular, and then they just stay as part of the game. It sort of speaks to the power creep, if you will, as well. All card games naturally go through that. Part of just the life cycle of a card game is that you want to keep making stronger and stronger cards as you go forward. It keeps people interested. Screaming Nemesis. And that's why they come up with rotation formats, because that helps keep the game fresh. But that also means that people are looking for new, strong cards going forward. And I think one of the advantages that Magic has had for such a long time is the concept of these mechanics being on cards. It allows them to expand in all these new ways to make new, strong cards. Let's see here. Cursed Recording, Monstrosity, another Cursed Recording, and Come Back Wrong to close out that set. Awesome, awesome stuff. All right, folks, my camera's still beeping at me, so we're going to take a quick pause. Everything's going to stay roughly the same. I'm just going to straighten up these piles a little bit as we move forward into our next 3 boxes. So, we'll be right back. And there we are. We're back, folks. Sorry about that. Now, cleaned up a little bit, as you can see. Left the most important stuff back in the frame so we can remember how well we've been doing. But right where we left off, let's get right back into it now that my camera issues are rectified. Okay. We have done so well on just the first half of this. We got so many good things. Obviously, the big standout so far is that Overlord of the Flood Pits. We may not see something else like that in a case. The general superstition with a lot of these very rare things is that it's a per case or per master case, you'll only see something like this. I remember hearing all the time when the serial cards first got started, and even to this day when they talk about serial cards, that the hit rate is of a certain percentage, and that usually, I forget what the rate is, but they say that comes out to being approximately 1.5 or something per master case. So the idea being, what they say you should do is that if you're someone like us who opens and sells product, that if you're getting halfway through a box and you just got the biggest thing, well, then that means that the rest of these are just duds, and you can just sell those off, not to worry about it. But that's not what we do around here. We open everything. We open everything and we sell everything. And of course, shameless plug again, link down below. That's our store. We sell cards to anyone. We will open all of it and sell all of it. we like to record the process. You know, we've been doing so many of these that we eventually hit a point where we said, hey, why don't we just record the process? We open probably more Magic cards than just about anybody on the website, that being YouTube. So why not just start recording, start learning, and get it going, and share what we're already doing, what we're already doing with the world. This only really just costs us just a little bit of extra time, because it still takes time to open these cards, folks. We would be doing this anyway, but now we get to share it with you guys, specifically with you. No, not you. You. There we go. All right, let's get back into it. Right where we left off, just like before, we're going to skip all of those strictly inferior cards until we hit a land, and then look at those rares. Marina Vendro, Balustrade Worm, Razorkin Needlehead. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, man, that's my favorite card in the set. What a way to start back up on this. The Abhorrent Oculus. I love this card. It's cool. I like the flavor of it. And look at that art too, folks. Look at how creepy that thing is. Just staring at that guy. Yeah. Very powerful card. And all in blue too. I mean, I'm a red player, so at my core, I stand opposed to all things blue, of course, like a good red player should. But I just really like that card. I can't help myself. It's a cool card. Speaking of cool cards, Dollmaker Shop and Porcelain Gallery, another mythic. Hey, maybe we're back to that same swing like we were at the start of this. Oh, I think we are. Another Meat Hook Massacre, this time in the alt art. Wow. All right. The box has spoken, you know. I started talking about the old superstition of once you get the good card to stop pulling, and the box is now puffing its chest up. It's trying to put its best foot forward. Lord of Pain, technically, yeah, mythic spot right there. And, oh yeah, look at that. The Japanese Enduring Vitality. In English, but all the same. Doesn't that just kind of look like Bambi? I guess that's why people like it so much. I mean, I think it's probably the best of the Vitality. Arguably, top 3. But it looks like Bambi. And so that's why people like it. All right. Moving along here. Let's see what else we can get. Let's see what good trouble we can get into here. Past the Veil. Enduring Courage. Leyline of Transformation. You know, that was something I've talked about it before a couple times, but I was a little upset to see just a reprint of Leyline of the Void when it came time for the full rotation of these Leylines to come out. I, like many people, I'm sure, was hoping we would get something new. I mean, obviously, it's a powerful card. Hey, there we are. Fractured Realm again. It's a powerful card. Oh, and a Flood Farm Verge. Gorgeous looking card. Leyline of the Void is strong. It has been reprinted a few times now, so frankly, it has lost some of its value. It's not any less good. It's just very easier to get now compared to when it first came out. But it's just sort of, we've been there. You know, we've done that. We've seen it already. We would have loved to have seen something new, especially because the other 4 are all trying something a little different. You know, it could have been a perfect opportunity for them to do something different as well. But they wanted to, pad certain sets with familiar things. It's proven that it does help drive sales when there is a certain level of familiarity. I mean, gosh, take Jeweled Lotus and Mana Crypt as the perfect example. They use those 2 cards to just absolutely push the Commander Masters set and the Ixalan set, respectively. Your chance at getting the alt art super rare, and there was like 5 variants of Mana Crypt at just obscenely valuable levels. I think at one point I saw the price. Oh, beautiful Doomsday Excruciator. The price of that Mana Crypt, the very top one, I remember seeing somebody trying to sell it for like $17,000. And not even graded, mind you. They were selling it for just obscenely large amounts of money. But it was so rare, or, it was perceived to be so extremely rare. And they're very good cards. No one's going to deny that Mana Crypt is good. I mean, obviously there's an argument that would show that Sol Ring is better. But Sol Ring is printed into oblivion, and we get it all the time, But it pushes the set. If you look at everything else that was in Commander Masters, and we even opened some here on the channel, video might be up by the time this comes out. You may already have seen it. But we opened a few packs of Commander Masters. There really is not anything else in it except for perhaps Deflecting SWAT right there. Or, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the blue one. It's this one. Right there. Yeah. Those are really like two of the only other things in that whole set that really derive serious value. You can find $5 here, $10 here. I'm not saying that everything's worthless. Every card has value. But, I mean, to be frank, they were, I think, for the most time, on average, even I think right now, you're looking at $50 a pack on average. Heck, on the low end, $50 a pack. You're going to spend anywhere from $200 to $300 to get a box, a collector display booster box of the collector packs in your possession. You only get 4. You get 4. And remember, folks, that's the magic number that red players can count to, is 4. That's it. That's all you get. Overlord of the Baelmerk. Beautiful card. All you get is 4 packs. And across 4 packs, you have to find a way to make your money back. I mean, that's one of the most practical ways, especially from a seller's perspective. That's one of the ways we look at it. Across every pack, like for example, these collector boxes, they have 12 packs. So across 12 packs, I have to find a way to make back my, I think we spent approximately $198 a box, just to give you a little behind the scenes. It would not quite that amount, but roughly the same. Let's call it $200. $200. Come back wrong. Oh, love that art. Very Evil Dead. Very fun. $200, and I get 12 packs. So I have to find a way across all of those to make my money back. Well, 200 divided by 12 is a heck of a lot easier to do than 200 divided by 4. It's a lot easier to try and find value across more packs. But the thing that drove it more than anything was getting a Jeweled Lotus. I think, they had the alt arts and the borderless and whatnot for it, but you'd get, oh, nice. Good looking foil on that Valgavoth. You would get a regular, and then there was a borderless, and then a borderless foil. But all of them extremely hard to find. And that was the only thing in the entire set except for Deflecting SWAT and this one again, whose name I still forget. Thank you, editor. Those were the only things in the set, even to this day, that break the $50 price. When you really put it in that sort of frame of reference, I'm buying something that I only get 4 chances at finding value in, and in those 4 chances, there are only 3 or 4 cards in the whole set that can beat that price, that can make that money back. It's frankly, it's a gamble. It really is hard to find value across those. And in the experience of this channel, historically, the videos that we did, which should be up by now, We didn't get it. We were opening it because we had it. We weren't too worried about getting hosed. We've done pretty well for ourselves, all things considered. So we're not betting the house on those. I think 3 packs of it we opened on a camera here, but we got next to nothing. I think if we were to probably total up everything we did in those 3 packs, it would be no more than $30, maybe $40 on the high end if we were to sell it high, so to speak. I wouldn't be surprised if it came in. I would be surprised if it came in above that. And when you think, for opening 3 packs, that was almost an entire box. That was 75% of an entire booster display box. It would have been $150 plus of pack right there across those 3 things. And to only get, 30, let's call it 50. Let's say across those 3 packs, we got $50. That doesn't feel good. From a seller's perspective, we deal with such volume that, it sort of makes up for itself across a long period of time. It's not that bad for us. But can you imagine being you? Imagine being you. Wow. Comment down below if you had to be you. Anyway. But imagine you were saving up at the end of the month, setting some money aside, being responsible with your money, which I know for many people is hard to imagine. But you're being responsible with your money and you've set some aside and you've decided, oh man, I think it would be so cool to get some of that Commander Master and get some cool stuff out of it because it's really expensive and there's this really cool card in it and I've been looking for some stuff for my Commander deck. And you spend $200, $250 and you get 1 box with 4 packs in it. And you get a bunch of stuff that you didn't even know was in it. You open it up and you get just what is going to be most people's experience is just, middle of the road or lower than that. That just really sours you on a product. It just doesn't feel good. And I think to really tie it back to what we're doing right now, this as a collector product, even though I'm skipping past a large chunk of it, this product feels good so far. I feel like there's a lot of good stuff in here. And you get that commander slot in every pack. And while I gloss over those commander cards a lot, we do sell those as well. I'm not trying to act as if they don't have value, but it's its own set, really. It's a separate set. And so for the sake of this video, I'm really not focusing too much on it. If we were going to open, some commander only stuff, or, we were opening precons to review them, from Duskmourn, I would talk about it more. I know for a fact we've gotten some very good commander cards out of this, but I'm just keeping with the tempo of what we're doing. But this feels a lot better. This feels very good. Getting a wide variety of stuff, and even in the rares, there's a lot of cool things here. All of those overlords, all of the endurings, the chance at seeing some guest stars. Look at that. Speaking of fun, you see that Japanese right there? I start talking about it and here it is. So here we have Master of Keys on the top. This is a commander card. I think actually he's one of the commanders from the face of the set, or he's one of the, I think they call it lieutenants. He's the backup commander for a deck. But there you go. There's a mythic right there. Let's just stop and look at this for a second. 3/3 for X and Esper colors, white, black, blue. Flying, when he enters, put X 1/1 counters on it and mill twice X cards. That's actually pretty cool. Each enchantment card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. That's a very strong card. I mean, this would be fun to make a deck out of. Of course, those colors lean it towards doing, sort of prison lockdown stuff that Esper Control is known for. So maybe not a lot of people would want to play with you, but this is a good card. This is a good card. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a very good card. And speaking of good cards, we have a Japanese Overlord of the Flood Pits. There you go, to go with his cousin right here with the extra foiling. I mean, these are, even without the shatter, these are just really good looking. That format of this very minimalistic design, it's a very, very good looking format. I would like to see that stay around for a long time. I think they've really knocked it out of the park with that style of borderless. Definitely successful in this card seller's opinion. And really from our own direct analytics, the numbers back it up. It sells very well. What we have already sold of this product, which of course, down below, check it out. But what we've even sold already, those fly off the shelves. When we did Bloomborough, I got some of they weren't quite laid out the same. They didn't have this foiling on the side, but they had the Japanese artists, and those sold extremely well. We had some of the Liliana as a squirrel, which I thought that was pretty funny. It was cute, but it was funny too. And it sold very well. I think we got 2 of those. We got one of the Chatterfang, which sold extremely well. I got him actually in a texture foil with the bits on the side. Here, that's what it looks like right there. I got that. I think at the time, that sold for almost $500. I mean, it was a hugely popular card when the set first came out. Hey, talk about popular. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. We are doing so well here today, gang. This is just... And an Overlord of the Flood Pits extended art in the back right behind him. Look at that. Hang on. Let's just set this aside for just a... And a Leyline of the Void. And a Leyline of Hope. What the heck happened to you? Oh my gosh, this was so stacked. I just looked past that we got 2 ley lines in this, just almost as if they were, padding for packaging. Holy smokes. But I mean, look at this. We got just about every version of the Overlord of the Flood Pits right there. How about that, folks? That's something else. That's the kind of experience you can expect when you open such a large volume of cards like we do here. But, yeah, I think this collector product, as the years have gone on, it started to feel a lot better. Better and better. A lot more confidence in buying it, especially as shops. Some new management took over on the top side of Wizards. And with it has come a reduction in print runs. Which, I mean, I don't mean to imply that means that they're struggling for money. Wizards is doing well. All metrics would indicate that they are doing well as a company. But when they reduce print runs on collector product, what that does for us as sellers is it builds confidence. You have to remember, these cost roughly twice as much from our end, from a distributor. Not even talking about MSRP by the time it reaches the general consumer, and you were gonna buy it at your local card shop, or pop on down to Walmart or Target or etc. And try to get some. Even before it gets to you, for us, collector product is about 50% to double the price of its play booster counterparts. It's it's not cheap, and. Going back to what we talked about with trying to find our value across certain products, it can be a little dicey because at first, you think, okay, yeah, I can make my value back. If it costs me $200 across 12 packs, I can find a way to do it. But then, maybe half the stuff a few months out, we still haven't sold it yet, but it's up and it's priced reasonably, and then they reprint it. Suddenly, the price on almost everything is going to go down because the scarcity isn't there anymore. And that was something that had been happening before, where we had collector product that came out, and then there would be these, suddenly out of nowhere, like Amazon dumps, where suddenly on Amazon you could buy hundreds of copies of collector product. It was very suspicious. It sort of smelled like, the old management at Wizards was overprinting and then selectively letting things out into the market to sort of do price controlling and whatnot. I don't know. It's all conspiratorial. I'm not wearing my tin hat today, but it destroyed a lot of confidence from our perspective as sellers that collector would be a good product. Hey, ley line of resonance. It just felt like I don't want to risk buying as much of it as I normally would in case the rug gets pulled out from underneath me and suddenly I'm left holding the bag on a bunch of stuff that people, not that they won't buy it, but they're not going to buy it at the prices that would have made sense from our perspective. We're not trying to rob people. We're charging fair market. We're, supply versus demand. But then if suddenly the supply is grossly inflated, the demand will respond to it. The demand will fall off because suddenly it's very easy to get it. And, there we go. Razorkin Needlehead. I really like that art. Look at that. But the supply is going to fall, or the supply, blows up, so the demand falls off. I mean, it's sort of like a seesaw, or what's it called? Sawhorse, whatever. Show the thing I'm thinking of. Yes, thank you. Yes. I'm definitely leaning on my editor this time. Go ahead and like the video. It helps feed my editor. Meat Hook Massacre 2. Look at that. There you go. That helps feed him too. Is when we get good cards. All right. But it's definitely a case of restoring confidence. Ever since, I would say, probably about Fallout. We did really well on Universes Beyond Fallout. That was an awesome set for us. It was actually one of the first ones that we took a very large position. Relative to the size of our business at the time, we took a very large position in that. And it actually, it panned out very well for us. At the time, everyone was on board. Leadership, we were all very bullish. But at the same time, we were a little nervous because we had heard whispers that there might be a dump on Amazon. And if there was a dump, it was probably going to severely slow our business down. It would have taken a long time to recover from that. But it didn't. It didn't happen. There were a couple times where some people tried to pretend like it was going to happen and they were scamming people, but that didn't impact the market in any really meaningful way. Hey, Nico, Light of Hope. Good looking foiling there. It's like the mirror is the foil. You see that? How about that? And ever since, it's sort of kept going. And, also, I would say play boosters. I think now people feel a lot better about play boosters. Unfortunately, Murder at Karlov Manor had to really fall on the sword of change, so to speak. Oh, look at that. Valgavoth, the alt art. And what else did we get here? Enduring Tenacity and the Swarm Weaver. Awesome cards. Look at that. It's not foiled, but what a cool looking card. What a sinister guy. The demon that consumed an entire plane. Valgavoth, the Terror Eater. What was I saying? Yes, numbers wise for Mythics, that actually wasn't too many, but it still felt like a very good opening we got there, folks. It was a lot of Overlords, and Meat Hook, and I think that was a good box, all things considered. And then, and that just touching back on what I've said before, when a person, a customer, in this case, we're the customer here buying from distributors and wizards, when we feel good about what we've done, it makes us want to continue. When we feel confident about the purchase we had and we feel satisfied and we're not full of remorse over what we just did, or money we may have lost, it helps people stay involved. And when we're coming out of shutdown historically, they had to find a way to get people back into stores to play Magic in person again. And Magic, as far as a market, was in a rough spot. And management was in the process of changing. And they decided they were going to change boxes yet again. Because remember, folks, we used to just have boosters. We just had booster boxes. And then they swapped it up, and then it was, you had draft boosters, and then you had set boosters. And set boosters had a few cards less in them, but you would get a foil in every pack or something like that. And then draft boosters were like the traditional size, but you didn't get foils in every pack, but draft boosters didn't have the list in them, and set boosters did. And so, de facto, the community preferred draft boosters because it gave them more chances to get what was in the actual set instead of that bloated set booster, or the set, which is what it's called. And it's kind of hard to keep track of it in conversation, but, the set. Nobody wanted the set from set boosters. And so set boosters themselves didn't do well. And so then to make up for it, they came out with collector boosters. And so you had draft and set and collector all kind of trying to share the same market. It was just too bloated. Nobody knew what to buy for anybody. I mean, we talked about that already. And so they decided, you know what? We're just going to condense it. We're going to do play boosters. And unfortunately, Karlov Manor, which everybody calls Markov Manor. I call it that all the time, too. I slip up all the time and call it Markov Manor. But it had to fall on that sword. And the set wasn't... It was good. I mean, it was a good set. It just wasn't strong. It didn't have stuff like this in it, The only thing it had going for it was Vein Ripper right there. You see that guy? He was the thing that moved that set when it first came out. And you know what I think is the funniest thing about Karlov, just historically? I remember when that was getting teased and they showed us Surveil Lands. I thought those were awesome. I took one look at that and I thought, wow, that is a strong utility. Those are gonna be like right up there with Shock Lands. That's how I looked at them when I saw it. I thought, you know what? We're gonna watch those go up to 20 and test, levels between 20 to 40, depending on color combinations. I wouldn't be surprised if those, people talk about them in the same conversations as Shocks. But wouldn't you know it, folks? When that set first came out, people hated them. They talked so much smack about those Surveil Lands, and I just couldn't understand why people didn't like it. And here we are now, not even really a full year after those came out. We're coming up on around a year and some, roughly. And now it's like, yeah, they're good. Everyone knows that they're good. Maybe not every deck sees them, get played, but people can't deny that those are good cards. And the value reflects it too. Last few that we've sold, I think we're probably around $15 plus. And I kind of think the same thing with these Verges as well. I mean, they are doing well. People know that these are good. They're recognizing that they're good cards. But, it's just another thing that I think people just didn't value. And so it being a, middle of the road set, on top of the fact that it had to be the first, the point of the spear, if you will, it had to be the first play booster. It just got a lot of disproportionate hate. Hey, Kaido, Bane of Nightmares. Very nice. And an Overlord of the Boiler Bilge right next to him in that set. That's another double mythic right there. Fantastic stuff, folks. We are doing... This has been a fantastic case crack right here. Can't wait to do it again. And believe me, folks, we will be doing this again. I already, right now, by my left foot, which you cannot see off camera, I have a whole other case of these just waiting to go. So, if you liked what we've done here before, and I'll say it again when we get to the end, but go ahead and subscribe. Like the video. There will be more. We will be back. And, play boosters, now that they are the de facto way going forward, how many are we in now? Is this... Duskmourn is our 5th. Let's see. Karlov, Thunder Junction, Bloomborough, Duskmourn. Am I forgetting something? No. Maybe. I don't know. Comment down below if I've forgotten something. But, we're a few of them in now. And I think they're going great. People are enjoying it. People are buying lots of... Oh! Look at that! Go ahead and shut me up really quick. Kaido, Bane of Nightmares is back, and he is in texture foil. Wow. I hopefully my camera can do this justice. Do you see that, folks? the glare kind of, if I point it at the glare, it kind of helps you see the texturing. It almost looks like it's warped in some places, but that's just a three-dimensional texturing on the card. Wow. And it's so like, it's the same duo saturation here, where but instead of that, yellow and purple, you've got this all black background with that crimson red, and then it's almost like a silver instead of a white. That looks so good, and this card feels nice. There's just a slight raised texture to it. That's incredible. It's going in a sleeve right away. Wow, that's awesome. Got to put those two next to each other. We have pulled some fantastic stuff here, folks. We are in our last box, so it's trying to give me something to remember it by. But folks, I am thinking of it fondly already. I am, dare I say it, I'm having fun. Famous last words, I know. If you're sitting near any wood, go ahead and knock on it right now. But you know what, folks? I don't see a way that this box can take it away from me. Funeral Room and Awakening Hall, another mythic, just to hammer it home. There we go. At first, I was thinking that we haven't gotten too many mythics so far. We're almost halfway through the box. And then it does something like that. It pulls a fast one on old Taylor. You'd think as a card salesman, I'd be quick enough to see it coming. But yeah, sometimes I still get blindsided by these awesome cards. Persistent Constrictor. Hey, look at that. That's cool. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they lose 1 life, and you put a -1/-1 counter on up to 1 target creature they control. What's that mean? Comment down below. Tell me what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm just a red player. If it doesn't have haste, my eyes start to gloss over. All right. Here we are, folks. The final stretch. Please keep all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the ride at all times. And remember, at the end of the ride, there will be a photo opportunity. So please, come up with a good face to make as we reach our last pack. This has been amazing. This was a fantastic box opening. Off camera, we had opened some of these before we decided to start recording the whole process, and we had gotten some good stuff. Definitely. Cannot be denied. We got some great stuff, but I think this may have actually been the most explosive case that we've opened. I mean, right in here, and of course, you can't see it because it's off camera. It's all of our stacks of commons and uncommons and the other rares that I've set aside already, but that is really where the true value of the set lies. The rare cards that I'm showcasing here, they will be the first things to sell. They always are. They're very incendiary. That's what people want. That's the big thing. But as a seller, you will find the majority of your value comes from moving all of this other stuff. You price it competitively. People are looking for copies of it. People do home brews of stuff all the time. We even have a game mode of our own where we come up with budget commanders. And I got to tell you, we'll probably introduce our audience to it. I mean, it's not that foreign of a concept, but we play Commander, and as a challenge mode, you're only allowed a $50 budget. Think about that, $50 budget. So those of you at home playing Commander that are avid Commander players, you probably play either yourself or most people. They don't even have $50 commanders. You have something, or you have a relatively innocuous commander because he matches your colors and he maybe does something for you. And then you have like a $300 package of support spells inside your deck. But yeah, $50 limit for the whole shebang. And I got to tell you, it's probably some of the most fun that we have as seasoned players. It's some of the most fun that we have playing Commander. When you put those limits, it really helps shine your ability as a player, as well as like the dynamic of playing at the table. It really, hey, look at that. What else is new? I keep doing that. It's like I have a Japanese seeking thumb. There you go. I got to patent that. My hands just, if there's art for it, they find them, and I just end up skipping past the cards. Another Enduring Courage Japanese alt-art. Wow. Awesome stuff. What was I saying? I have such a grin. You can probably hear my smile. We've been getting so many good cards today. But yes, the $50 Commander. It's some of the most fun that we have playing the game. Mirror Realm, Fractured Realm, and a Master of Keys right behind it. It really is a test of your ability to play the game. Sometimes you end up using mana rocks that most people, turn their nose at as if they smell bad. My brother, who I play with all the time, notoriously, he can't. Oh, Overlord of the Boiler Bilge and Screaming Nemesis right behind it. God, another double mythic pack. And they're both red. That's also, as a red player, it just really speaks to me when I get these red mythics. But my brother is notorious for every time he comes up with a deck, he'll say, yeah, my commander is going to be, Kaido. He's going to be my commander, and it's going to have this, this, and that on the inside. And then he almost copy-pastes this group of like 30 cards that will, perfectly curve out his mana, Soul Rings, Lightning Greaves, all that kind of stuff. Everything that, most commander players think of. It's all on that sort of line. Oh, look at that. Another Kaido. Bane of Nightmares. Wow. And an Enduring Innocence right next to it. Holy smokes, folks. This last box is just going down swinging. We have got some incredible stuff in here. Absolutely incredible. And we're down to just the last couple packs right here. Enduring Courage. So we're going to see by the end of it just how well we did. Let's not forget, folks, all of this right here, this big stack, these are all the mythics that we've pulled. Not to say that they're the only value that we've extracted, but they are a certainly large portion of it. All right, here we are. Home stretch. All right, Vagavoth's Lair, Glitch Interpreter, the Swarm Weaver, Dazzling Theater, and Enduring Tenacity. You could really say that's what this box had. It had Enduring Tenacity to the very end. Wow. What an incredible box that was. We had the Kaido, and then another Kaido, and an Overlord, Screaming Nemesis, Mirror Room, Japanese, Enduring Courage, Overlord of the Boiler Bilge. We had 3 Kaidos in that one box. Wow, folks. The only Planeswalker in the entire set, and he showed up 3 times in that one box. Wow. That makes me a very happy card salesman to see all these cool and frankly valuable cards show up. But, wow. All these mythics, folks. I mean, look at all of that. Incredible stuff. I have a lot of sleeving up to do, but we're going to do a quick count here and tell you we got this many. That's how many mythics we got. Look at all that stuff. I mean, wow. Oh my gosh. What an incredible box opening that was, folks. I was so honored to get to do that today and share it with you guys. And remember, hey, if you saw anything in this video that you can't live without, like this texture foiled Kaido or this Japanese alt-art shatter foiled Overlord of the Flood Pit, just a few examples right there. If you saw anything you couldn't live without in this video, please check out our link down below. We are a seller on TCG Player with over 100,000 and climbing in our live inventory and over 20,000 and counting satisfied customers under our belt. No sale is too big or too small for us, so please consider coming and checking out our store. We have lots to provide you. And with that, thank you very much for coming. My name has been Taylor with Tower Cards and Games. Goodbye now.